Hi, and welcome to Kids E-Series, Building Strong Foundations in Your Child. I'm Mrs. Bernice Mukesh, you can call me Miss B. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about what is a tricky word and how to teach them. Tricky words are called that because you cannot sound them out. That's all there is to them. So in short, again, what is a tricky word? A tricky word is one that cannot be sounded out. They are words that are non-phonetic. If you sound them out and then try to blend the sounds, you will get a word that does not sound right. They are words that must be recognized by sight. When learning Jolly Phonics, the last part are the tricky words. In these words, sounds don't match their spellings. For example, there is this word who. It has just two sounds. W is silent. So children cannot say this word. They will mix the sounds of W, H and O, which is wrong. They just need to mix the sounds of the letters H and O. Also, children cannot write the word who. They will write it as H-O and not W-H-O. Many of us have lots of other questions like how to teach tricky words, what games can you play, when should you start learning them, what order do you learn them in? Let's look at it. Tricky words are non-phonetic. Some languages have more words that are non-phonetic in them than others. Italian, for example, is almost entirely phonetic. However, English has a much greater balance between words that you can sound out and words that you can't. Therefore, when children try to learn English, they need to be able to use phonics to read many words, but also to memorize many words by sight as well. What are the tricky words? The tricky words are usually taught in an order. Though this differs from country to country and also across different reading schemes within those countries, this is roughly the order to go for. These are the main ones to learn certainly within the first year of learning phonics, though some children will take longer than this. In Jolly Phonics, students are introduced to the words in groups. It's because students can learn new words in a group based on the words in the earlier group. The lowest category in the Jolly Phonics tricky words list are I, the, he, she, me, we, be, was, to, do, of. Learning these words are not so tough. Jolly Phonics has 72 tricky words put in 12 groups for kids aged 3 to 6 years. Once they learn this, they can easily begin reading books. Through Jolly Phonics, kids can start understanding the language. The verbal English improves. They can identify letters through sounds. So when to start teaching them? To find maximum success with tricky words, it's definitely worth teaching them at the right time. I think it is important to wait until the following are true. Children know quite a few phonemes. Children should be able to sound out words and understand how this works. Even though this is not a skill required for tricky words, they need to know how normal phonetic words work before going on to the variation. It is best if children are at least beginning to blend. They need to have experience and knowledge of what phonetic words are first before you then go and muddy the waters a bit by adding in words that work differently. In an ideal world, they would probably be able to blend 3-letter words independently, but even if they are just starting to do this, then they have much greater chance at reading tricky words. When both things have happened, children are ready to go with learning tricky words. But how do you introduce them? The classic way to introduce tricky words is the following. Show the word and say it. For example, I, the, he, she, and so on. Put the word into a sentence, then put it into another sentence. See if the children can put the word into their own sentences. Practice reading the tricky words in a simple caption. Practice writing the tricky word. A student has to draw them in the air to be able to read or write them. Another one is look, say, cover, write, check, and have another go. Let me show you. Look at the word, write it down, and then cover with your hand, and then again write it here, and then check it with the word here, and then again cover it and have another go. That's another way of learning tricky words and also learning to memorize as well as to be able to write it. Next day, refresh their memory by showing the word again whilst adding another word to their repertoire. Keep the memory fresh by showing flashcards in different fun ways for the foreseeable future. So to teach the word she, it might go something like this. Show the word she and say it. She. Put it into a sentence. She rode the bus. Then you can ask your children to make up sentences. For example, she is going to the zoo. And then you can write she and read, she is a cat. That's pretty much all there is to it. Just repeat this process every time you teach a tricky word. Let me give you top tips for teaching tricky words. Teach them in order. Start when children are at least beginning to blend and know lots of phonemes. When kids have completed groups 1, 2 and 3 in Jolly Phonics and have started to blend words, then is the time to introduce tricky words. Practice them daily. Use fun games and bring the process to life. Practice and apply the skill in different contexts. Tricky words are not hard, I promise you. They just can't be sounded out. Making them fun is the big challenge, and lots of good quality practice would get children confidently reading these words. I hope this video was useful for you. Do leave in your comments and queries. You can get in touch with me. The number is given in the description. Also do like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon for notifications. God bless you. Have a great and wonderful day. Bye-bye.